Okay, part 2. What?
Oh, you're already recording part 2 now? You push stop?
I did, but now, yeah, I started part 2 now.
Okay, well then we'll have to do a part 3 later.
Yeah. So, don't take too long, okay? She told him. You don't want your brother to eat all your birthday breakfast. Sure, he agreed as she smiled at him and went out his bedroom door, closing it behind her. Okay. As Barry rummaged for a nice t-shirt to wear on his birthday, he thought about his mom's worry that he will be disappointed not getting powers on his birthday. He didn't think he was disappointed, since he had never assumed he was going to get magic. He had never really thought of it as something to be disappointed about. That sounds like Isaac. Magic was always... Huh?
He says stuff like that. He does say stuff like that.
Hmm.
Ida does.
Magic was always Mom's thing. His dad didn't need it, so why would he? Even though he knew he had
Extended.
extended family members on his mom's side that were male and had magic, especially on the blue fairy side of the family. Magic just never really seemed like a guy thing to bear. And with fairy godmother magic being a particular female brand of magic, being passed from mother to daughter, he had always been fine knowing that he wasn't going to inherit
Inherit.
inherit it. See, like double it, like inherit it. It's hard to say that. An extended life expectancy based on being half fairy seemed like plenty enough of a bonus to him, and if he really needed something, his mom's magic was always right there. Are you sure it's not boring?
I'm just feeling tired because I'm always feeling tired.
I was
Okay.
looking at their types on Discord, but they were
The what?
their types. It Calise said what their types were, but
okay. But they're not under.
I guess it's true.
Is it on Scar, their types?
Yeah, I'm feeling sleepy, but it's not your fault, Mara. You know that I feel sleepy randomly like this.
Yeah. Because you're a baby factory right now. Maybe our baby is bored.
No.
Okay. And Barry had always felt like magic was a little bit of a cheap way to get things anyway. See, that sounds like Ida. As much as he and his younger brother Nick would prod their mom to get ridiculous things from her magic.
That'd
Barry
be funny
had...
if it was ESTP,
I know,
like I.
right? Barry had learned that it wasn't necessarily a good thing to learn to rely on it. Their mom was very careful not to spoil them magically, and Barry appreciated that. She'd always had way too many first-hand stories to tell about people who had ended up with a serious over-reliance on magic that could even border on addiction in some cases. It wasn't to be messed around him.
Messed around with.
Messing around with, yeah.
Messed.
Messed.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I know, it looks like it should have, it sounds like it should have a ST instead of an ED, but.
Oh, really? Messed.
Yes.
Messed.
Messed with.
Oh. As an easygoing guy, Barry wasn't really into the drama that magic seemed to bring with it. Anyway, his mom's side of the family was way higher maintenance than his dad's. Not worth it, was his opinion.
Maybe he's an IP subtype or something like Idic.
Maybe. He liked that his mom had magic, but other than that, he'd really rather just be able to drive without an adult in the passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Dressed in cargo shorts and a t-shirt with a doofy dinosaur on the front. See that? Very quickly ran.
Doofy? Doofy is another word for like goofy. It's like
Uh-huh.
doofus and goofy mixed.
Oh yeah, but I was like, imagine like Ida could wear a t-shirt like that.
Is that why he had such a hard time with this? It's like too much like himself.
Maybe.
He was like, ah.
But I
What if
also could see Gerard wearing a t-shirt like that. And
What?
me. I think I could see Gerard with a t-shirt like that.
Yeah.
Very
Tristan liked it too.
Tristan? Oh. Very quickly ran a hand over his tired face and hair, glancing in the mirror to be sure it wasn't sticking up at weird angles, and went out for breakfast. So, you know you're going to have to take me to soccer practices and stuff. Now you're going to be able to drive, loser, was the way Nick, his 13-year-old brother, greeted him, mouthful of masticated eggs. Or I might dump you off on the side of the road somewhere, dweeb. Barry gave him a heartfelt shove, collapsing on the barstool
Yeah.
next to his brothers.
Mhm.
I still don't know why Mom doesn't just teleport us everywhere, Nick ripped. Do you know how much gas that would save, Mom? Huh?
Griped.
What?
Gripped is with two P's.
Oh, griped.
Yeah. Griped is complaining, gripped is grabbing something. So
Okay.
gripped has two P's, and griped is without two P's. So
Griped.
the PE like that makes it gripe.
Like, I don't know what griped means.
So it's like the word ripe, R-I-P-E, but with a G in front, so it's gripe.
Okay.
That makes sense?
I think so. And what does griped mean?
Griped, it means like complaining.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my mom would be like, griping and complaining.
Okay. Do you know how much gas that would save, Mom? He widened his eyes in all. Widened.
Yeah.
His eyes in all. You could save the planet. Their mom turned from where she was flipping omelets. I highly doubt us driving one less vehicle would have a substantial impact. I don't need your dad's comprehension of statistics to understand that. Besides, saving the world single-handedly is not my job. My job is to Barry smacked the back of his brother's head. Great, now started her on reciting Fairy Duty again. Danya, their mother, put her hands up. Okay, fine, I'll shut up. But just because it's your birthday. The boys both chuckled, and Barry helped himself to a large plate of bacon and omelette. Maybe I'll go off on the birth of my oldest baby instead. Wait, what?
What?
Maybe I'll go off on the birth of my oldest baby instead.
That's like, because she was like going off about fairy duty, so she'd be like going off on his birth, telling the birth story.
Okay. She grinned and Barry groaned loudly, although secretly he didn't mind that one so much. Oh
so
man.
basically, he liked that.
Oh man, at this time 16 years ago, she looked at the clock. You were almost out, so I was screaming my head off. My mom could not believe I was going to have an unmagic birth, but I did it without any spell relief. What?
Oh my god, why did she do that?
I don't know. What time was I born again? Barry asked, a little shy but pleased to be the center of the day's attention. That sounds like Isaac.
I know, right?
8:42, Dana said, watching the clock closely. So 16 years ago, in about a minute, if these clocks are right. She turned and smiled at him, which at my stroke of 16 was exactly when I got my oh. She'd stopped mid-sentence and cried out. Barry didn't know about what Barry didn't know what about as he finished chewing his bite of eggs, but he followed her gaze. It pointed right above his head, where he looked up to find a narrow stick hanging in the air. That was strange. It looked like his mom's once, sort of, except hers was a reddish brown and it was hard to tell what color this one was, but it wasn't the same. He set his fork down, staring at the thin rod above him. Out of his peripheral
Mm-hmm.
vision, he saw Nick staring at it too. What is that for? Barry started to ask, but before he was able to phrase it as a question, the floating stick began to move, dancing above his head like a wooden ballerina,
Mhm.
looping circles and swirls, getting faster as it went. Oh yeah. Suddenly the stick erupted in purple, gaseous-looking sparks of
Gash.
light. Gaseous.
Gash. Yeah.
Gaseous-looking sparks of light jumping off. Wait, what?
Um,
Jumping off of it like misty little firecrackers. It then descended quickly and began swirling around Barry's head and shoulders. It abruptly became clear that whatever it was doing, it was here for him. Mom, Barry cried out, not a fan. It's okay, sweetheart, just wait.
Oh yeah. Calise she did her little picture wrong because the mom wasn't powered up right there.
What?
The little picture she just.
Oh yeah.
Here, wait. Can I show?
Oh.
Wait, where is it?
Oh my god. I said I put ginger
I'll show you.
and I said oh. But I put.
Why is this being weird? Okay, was on.
So it was like if she said
Random. Here you can see her
Spoiler.
It's funny.
there it is, see?
And what did you say was
Oh, wait.
right or what?
Shut off, Nick. Wait. I thought that was the part. Was that not the part? Okay. That wasn't the part. I don't know why my brain thought that was the
No,
part.
he
Okay.
didn't turn into a girl yet.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Spoiler! It's okay, sweetheart, just wait.
Did this happen, you, Anna?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't get to?
Because I was too anxious when Calise put it
Oh, okay.
on.
Okay. See, I love this story. It's like fun to me.
Yeah.
I don't really know why, other than, I don't know, maybe I like poking at boys too.
Well, let's see what happens. She soothed him through the purple mist. Dark. The purple became suddenly more potent and sparkly, and Barry was lifted off the bar stool, held aloft by warm purple sparks, his limbs extending outward without his having much control over them. Limbs?
Arms, legs, limbs. Limbs are your arms and your legs.
Oh, okay. Nick's barstools squawked loudly against what?
Squawked.
Squawked.
Yeah, squawked.
Squawked loudly against the kitchen kitchen
The chicken floor.
kitchen floor as he backed quickly away from the magical pyrotechnics. The wand shimmered and swirled around Barry's legs, and he felt his toes point and slip into shoes as warm, tingly light flooded over them. His leg muscles felt like they were contracting, and as he looked down, he saw them shrink in both length and thickness, and his red-brown leg hair suddenly vanished. Boxing. The mist moved upward, clearly intent on his mission, reaching his cargo shorts, which suddenly melted and blurred into a purple liquid that then fanned out and rippled around his legs like a gravity-defying purple water feature. But before that could settle, the mist shot between his legs, and Barry. Wait, what? And Barry gasped as he felt all of his external features there abruptly sucked inside of him. His boxers seized like shrink wrap, forming some sort of breeze, illustrating to him that it suddenly wasn't hard to hide everything in his nether regions. Okay. He was so shocked. I will beat you. The rest seemed to go faster. The flowing liquid around his lips solidified into a sharp poof of some magnitude, something akin to a tutu, in a color still a soft purple. His organs compressed next around his belly button, while his t-shirt melted and reshaped itself. Barry's head was abruptly thrown backward by the force of two purple mountain majesties bursting forth from his spectral region. Okay, in a spray of sparks.
Now you understand.
Their sudden weight bewildering. He was thoroughly hyperventilating as his shirt morphed into a glittery, skin-tight bodice which secured his unrecognizable torso in place, but dipped low enough to demonstrate a generous portion of his brand new features. His arms shrunk and thinned too, his sleeves becoming little wisps of sheer off-the-shoulder fabric.
Little wisps of sheer off
What's
the
wisp?
shoulder fabric. A wisp is like very delicate, kind of like almost like how smoke is. Smoke is kind of like wisps up, or there's like I don't know, like a wisp of hair. There's like a little piece, and it's kind of floaty, delicate.
The mist tickled his throat, Adam's apple shifting, and then he was hit in the face with a puff of magic, and finally felt like a magical egg had been cracked in his head. Cracked on his head and was dripping down his hair. Hair of new lengths brushed his bare shoulders, and Barry was afraid to open his eyes. Was it over? Would it put him down? But the magic's final act presented itself into a tingly warmth on his back that made him want to stretch like he had a knot between his shoulder blades. Wait, what?
What is it that you don't?
But the man's final act. Oh. With a puff sound and an explosion of air, Barry looked in time to see large, iridescent wings burst
Iridescent.
out of his back with a butterfly's flourish. Oh, okay. He could immediately feel those too, and he moved them slowly with terrified awe. They flitted
Yeah. Yeah.
easily, like moving his own eyelashes. The mist hissed
Yeah. Hissed.
quickly back into the otherwise unassuming looking floating stick. Barry was set gently back on the kitchen floor. I'm like imagine like he's a girl now. On the kitchen floor, I noticed he was wearing shimmery purple heels, held on by delicate straps around his now slender ankles. Without thinking, he held an ethereal little hand out, and the wooden stick merrily dropped into it. The wood was stained a muted periwinkle.
Yeah. Periwinkle. It's kind of like a soft bluish purple, but it's very light.
Oh,
color.
okay. He could see now. Barry just stared at it, trembling. I thought staring had 2 R's.
Wait.
Barry
Stare.
just stared.
No, I think that's right. Otherwise, it would be starred. I think with 2 R's, starred.
Yeah, makes sense. The kitchen was totally silent except the regular morning sounds of birds and cars from the oblivious world outside. Opa. All of his periphery.
Mm-hmm.
Barry's. Huh?
That was perfect.
Oh, really? Barry saw Nick was gasping, frozen, and his mouth wide open. Barry turned his head to look at his mother, and then at his brother, and then at his mother. Curls tickled his shoulders when he moved, and as some fell down in his face. Barry realized his hair had turned into a bright lilac color. Oh, lilac. Lilac.
Which is a purple color.
Oh, yeah. All the pieces matched and yet still couldn't be comprehended. All Barry Anderson had wanted for his 16th birthday had been the ability to drive on his own. Instead, it seemed today was going to be about why the crap he was standing in this kitchen as a full-fledged power-up fairy girl. Oh, I can't believe his mom broke the silence staring. I mean, I knew it was possible, but I never thought. How is this possible? Barry cried, someone else's voice in his ears. I thought only girls could be fairy godmothers. Nick said, looking awkwardly at Barry's legs, sounding freaked out. I
Freaked
don't know.
out.
Freaked out.
Freaked.
Freaked.
I will
out.
get it. I will get you to do the ED.
Freaked out.
Yeah.
No, see, the problem is to say both words.
What?
Freaked out.
Yeah, freaked out.
Freaked out.
Freaked out.
Freaked out. Freaked
out.
Freaked out.
Yeah. Like
freaked out.
Kind of like a freaked out. It's kind of like we put the words together, kind of.
Freaked out.
Yeah.
Sounding freaked out.
Yeah.
It's hard. I don't know if you've noticed, but not being a girl doesn't seem to be a barrier for you anymore, Bess. But not being a girl. Oh. Barry gave him a death glare. Oh, really? We retorted with furious sarcasm. I hadn't noticed that. He popped his brother across the back of the head with a strangely tiny hand. The action seemed to jerk Nick out of his stupor,
Yeah.
and he looked suddenly appalled and
Appalled.
appalled, and backed up to the counter away from Barry. Mom, Barry whined, what's going on? Why the freak am I a girl and a fairy all of a sudden? Did you know about this? Well, it's so rare, I never suspected, Dennis still seemed dazed. It happens sometimes when there's no granddaughter for the family legacy to be passed on to. I had a distant cousin who everyone just called Uncle,
Passed on to.
passed on to.
Yeah.
I had a distant cousin who everyone just called Uncle Larry, but ever so often, when duty would call, he suddenly delirious. The fairy godmother. Barry made a face. She shook her head nostalgically. Odd duck, Uncle Larry. Even when he was powered down. Not helping, Mom, Barry declared. Right, she realized, but it's a special honor, she beamed. They call the privileged few glitter babies because it's sort of like being reborn in sparkles at 16. Nick snickered, what's that?
Snickered? Like laughed. He's like that.
Oh, okay. No, Barry said quickly. They can't call it that because that will make something that couldn't possibly be more emasculating so much worse. Daniel got a far-off realization in her eyes. I have to go call my mother. She will be thrilled. She started off for the kitchen archway. Mom, stop! Barry tried to say authoritatively.
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 Say
that again.
Authoritatively.
Authoritatively.
Yeah.
Okay.
Authoritatively.
I thought
right?
That.
Authoritatively. There you go.
Authoritatively. There. But it came out like a girly whimper. You cannot leave me here standing in a stupid little skirt on my birthday. How can I change back? Oh, your birthday, she remembered, coming back to him and taking his hands. But this is better than getting your license today anyway, right, sweetheart? He stared at her in disbelief. No, Mom, this is not better than getting my driver's license because I don't even want this. You are not excited to have magic? She asked, seemed to take the idea personally. No, he insisted, especially if I have to be a girl every time I use it. What's wrong with being a girl? She asked. I'm not a girl, he declared. Good luck convincing anyone else of that. Nick muttered, and Barry realized in horror that his little brother was trying hard not oh my god, not checking out. Get out of here, Nick, Barry shouted louder than he meant to. Nick started protesting, but Dania wasn't paying much attention to him, her firm blue eyes fixed on Barry. Well, too bad because somehow this has always been a part of you, she said adamantly. He's always been a girl? Nick asked.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the picture. Shove off, Nick. Barry glared at him again, angry at how unthreatening his squeaky girl voice sounded. He never had a deep voice, but this was just ridiculous. No, Daniel answered her young son's question. He has always been a fairy. It's just part of who you are, Bess, like it or not. You got my eyes, and you got this, now deal with it. Barry felt dazed. Was she right? Was this a part of him? But he never had any desire for magic, and especially never to be a girl. I at least need to call your dad, Bunny insisted. He should come home and see. No, Barry, what?
Shrieked.
Shrieked. He lowered his voice to a normal volume. We don't even have to tell him, do we? Bess, she scolded. Of course he's going to want to know. This is going to be a massive part of your life now. She smiled at him. And he's going to want to see Barry. I know I would. All parts that made Barry feel like... What? All parts of that made Barry feel like throwing up. Being a fairy would be a massive part of his life? Well, he knew that it was a massive part of his mother's life, but he never agreed to that. And Barry wanted to be a normal Anderson guy. Suddenly being both magical and girly felt like... What? Girly felt like such a...
Betrayal.
Such a betrayal of everything his dad was. Barry felt like such a freak, going from blissfully average and magicalness to an anomaly even among magic-born. An anomaly who was suddenly in possession of very glittering
Bosoms.
bosoms. What's that?
Bosom.
Oh, okay. His body change was so surreal and unignorable that his hands were shaking with dismay. He saw that his fingernails had grown longer and magic had given him a manicure. Detail-oriented jerk. Mom, he
He pleaded.
pleaded. Tell me how to change back. Daniel looked genuinely worried about him now. Honey, this is your first time powered up. I know it's overwhelming, but there are things to take care of. But it won't be hard for you to change back when it's time, I promise. That helped some. Barry realized part of him had been terrified that he would never be himself again, and that was a horrifying thought. Can we at least fix my clothes? And that's it.
Oh, ask for more because there's more.
Okay.
She has more too.
I'll be like, I read it, see? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me stop. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.